The Yankees right now with 51 wins, and they are on pace and occasionally ahead of the pace of the 98 Yankees team that you were part of as an 18-game winner, 125 and 50. Any similarities do you see between these two teams, David?
Well, I haven't watched much baseball, but I was just in New York last week for a couple days at the stadium up in the suites doing some signings, and just the buzz and listening to everybody talk about them. And then obviously you got to take a peek and see what's going on. And these guys are playing lights out. And, and it's kind of cool from, when you played on a team like we did in 98 and having, just a well-rounded team, pitching was solid, you can't help but think that. And records are made to be broken, and as long as these guys, if they're going to do it, they better go all the way like we did. Because I think the year after us, Seattle won 126 and got knocked out in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle has won an insane amount of games. I think it was the 2001 Mariners that the Yankees did eventually knock out when they made the World Series that year. So obviously it's a long season. But when did you know in '98 that you were part of something that was generationally special, David?
Well, we started the season out of the chute, I think 0-3 or 0-4, something like that. And Joe Torre wasn't very happy because with the team that we had, he came in and let us have it. Literally let us have it, and I think that kind of clicked with everybody, and I don't think we lost another series after that start, and guys just gelled. I mean, there was no animosity. And if there was, it was nipped in the butt. It just guys were doing their job, and it just became like a fun competition between the pitchers, like Pettit would win, Cone would win, El Duque. And we'd go out there and you just want to follow suit. You didn't want to be the guy that stopped the streak. So we just kind of competed that way and, really didn't think about the record. We didn't think about what was going on. We didn't rely on Jeter. We didn't rely on Tino or anybody like that. Guys just did their job. So that's why we were so lethal.
Well, I mean,
the fact that you didn't have to count on just one guy. Everybody did their job.
I mean, you're in that locker room. Cone's in that locker room. Bernie Williams and Jeter and Pettit and a bunch of guys. You weren't part of that '96 team that had already won a World Series, but there were some real lead pipe wielding, professionals and veterans. What did it sound like with Torre airing you out? I mean, what was that like, David?
Well, he just snapped. Like guys will snap. I mean, I've snapped plenty of times, as you well know, but, he just, knowing that the team that we had, with the ability that, we're better than what we were in the beginning. I mean, I believe he called Jeter out, and Jeter didn't like it. It's just like, hey, you're our captain, step up and do something like that. And it just kind of challenged us. And, and it was, to me, that was kind of cool. And and Joe and I didn't get along as player manager relationship, but I did respect the fact that if he's going to call a meeting, he's going to call guys out. That's what he did, and that's what makes you better. I mean, when you come in there and you're like, wow, he's right. We got that ability to be very special and and win, and that's basically what it was. And we gelled from there, and the rest was history.
David Wells here on the Rich Eisen Show. I do remember you and Torre grinding gears. There's a lot of gear grinding between the two of you guys. What was that about? What was that about?
It's just, I felt that, we're grown men. You shouldn't be monitored, especially me, because I was that guy. I hated to stay in. I went out quite a bit. I did my thing, but it worked for me. And, see on page 6 or, whatever, something, they'd see me, Wells was at this place. Wells was at that place. The night before the perfect game, I'm at Saturday Night Live till 5:30 in the morning, with with Jimmy Fallon and the guys partying it up, not thinking that I had a game the next day, and stupid stuff like that. But it doesn't sit well, it doesn't look good. But if I knew what I had to do, and all I was praying for was go deep into the game and not embarrass yourself, in my condition that I was in. And, it just happened. But, that was just a fluke. Is all it was. But Joe just didn't like it. And I felt he didn't treat everybody the same. And that was one thing that was big with me. If you're a manager, you treat everybody the same. You don't favor guys. And that's what I thought Joe did.